welcome to season 7. And this is episode 1. And I have the luxury, the pleasure, and the fun of a very cool guest. Her name is Amelya Isaac. So let me tell you a little bit about her before we get into the conversation. So Amelya comes from a small town called Surukatra or Solo in central Java, Indonesia. Yet she comes to us today from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where she's currently living. So her life is truly a journey, not just because she has left her hometown to build a family in another country, but more because of her not so rosy childhood and growing up all those years to where she is now and where she'll be in the future. Thanks to Amelya's main strength, which she considers as curiosity, she has found many tools that have helped her go through many life challenges. Yet, as many of us, some of those tools didn't give her the assistance that she needed when COVID hit, when her children left the nest, or when she had to go through a major surgery. Now, as the saying goes, that things happen for a reason. Well, it's because of those happenings that Amelya found a new set of tools that has been keeping her life expanding and providing her with ease. So these are some of the tools that we're going to talk about with you today and how she uses them to celebrate her human experience. Amelya, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome.
My pleasure, Angie. It's such an honor to be considered to be your guest. And let's see what kind of contributions that our conversation can give to our listeners.
For sure. And I love the way we described it, because so many of us really do come from a whole bunch of different tools. And yet there are times in our life that even though we know all these tools, we sometimes need to look for other ones. And yeah, it's one thing after another that leads us. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you came about all of this?
Right. The various tools came to my life because I would like to believe because my strength is actually being curious. I always explored for new things, and many times it came to me when I browsed through the net or somebody shared things, and then it sounds cool. Let's give it a try. Yeah, and and that's how I found these tools.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the tools that you've been using lately, and the reason we're connecting and we're doing season 7 is Access Consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to ask, what did you think of Access Consciousness when it came about?
Ooh, all right. Okay. It actually came to my experience when a stranger posted in Facebook. She was answering a query from another person on Facebook asking about things to help in her mental health. And at that time, I was because of the major surgery, so I was not really in a good place. I was looking for something else that can help me out of the misery. Yeah. And the first impression is this sounds very, very interesting. And then I read more about it. Now, the interesting thing is if you agree with what Access empower us is not to rely on so much of our logic, because sometimes our knowing is actually more beyond our logic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read more on the Access Consciousness, there are things that no, I don't think it's for me. Yet somehow my knowing or my awareness kind of pull me to sign up immediately for 1 day class.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, it was just going it just elevated my enjoying the life. Yeah. So.
And I love that you say that, because I think many of us, we live, but we don't enjoy.
Yeah.
and our thoughts, our worries, our judgments, like all these different things like bombard us, and we really forget that life is meant to be enjoyed. It's not
Yes.
to be suffered. It's not meant to be like all these different things. And so it's funny, like I'll share with you and everybody. I many years ago, like I love when you say that your curiosity led you to things. I just say I'm a nerd. I'm literally a nerd. Everything I would find out, I'm like, oh, I want to learn more. And I'd buy the book and get the certificate and do like all the work. And I remember coming across somebody talking about some of these things many, 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 many years ago. But it kind of came into my awareness and then out my awareness it went, and I never really heard about it again. Like, and actually with this spirituality talk show is that several people came and they were like, oh, I'm an Access Consciousness practitioner. And I was like, what is that? And when I actually Googled it and looked it up, it was Dr. Dane here, the person I had seen many, many, many years ago, but I had no idea. I mean, I didn't click for me at the moment. And that's also kind of why I want to say it. Sometimes things click with us later. Sometimes we'll hear it. Sometimes we need to hear it again. And sometimes it won't click with us at all. And that's totally fine.
Yes.
So I love that you said that, because it does bring joy. It does bring a different kind of modality.
Yeah.
And it's definitely about creating the human experience. So talk to us a little bit for the people that don't know what we consider tools. What are the so-called tools of Access Consciousness? Like, how does it work, or what does it mean?
All right. Okay. So for me, the Access Bars is one of the tools, which is the hands-on kind of like body process. Some people call it a body process. It's a hands-on, and that's just one of the tools. It's going to be so amazing if you have another family member that you taught or you teach how to run it for you. That makes a lot of difference. Like with my husband, finally, I persuaded him to be able to run my bars. And I kind of like trick him. I said that, dear, you notice, right? Whenever I have my bus run, I will be happier. I will not get angry that often. So wouldn't it be nice if you know how to run my bus so that my bus can be run a bit more often instead of me waiting for another practitioner to come and run my bus? So finally he agreed with that. It was lovely.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other tools, of course, all the questions, and we can always be in the questions, and that's something new for me, because I always thought that needs to find answers, but no, actually, just be in the questions and ask questions. Even it may sound really simple, like what else is possible? How does it get any better than this? But that actually also changed my work a lot. I truly can celebrate life because of those tools. Yeah.
Right. And when I first heard it and they were talking to me and they were asking me these questions, obviously my mind wanted to respond.
Yeah.
I was like, but what do you mean? And she's like, don't think about it. Just ask the universe. And I was like, that's it? Like for me, it was so like there's no next step. Like I'm a nerd. I was like literally waiting for like the manual and the instructions and like you do this, stand on your head or something. Like I was waiting for something. She explained it to me and she was like, no, you just go ahead and I don't know, you're washing the dishes and you say, how does it get better than this? And I was like, with washing the dishes, she was like, just train yourself to literally, and she said that, be in the question.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while, like months. It took me a while to even understand. I know we're trying not to understand, but my brain, if it doesn't kind of make sense, I forget about it. And then I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to have the answer. I'm just, okay, I'm trusting. And for me, that was huge. That was really huge.
Same here. Right. Yeah. Does it mean then that life does not give us challenges? Of course, that there are still challenges. Yeah. Yeah. Then, of course, sometimes also the head will feel like, wow, full again. Yeah. It's time for my bus to get run.
Right.
Yeah.
So Okay. And then one of the other things that threw me off was when we talk about tools. Again, I come from like different modalities. I come from different things. For me, tools are like oracle cards or pendulums or this or that or like a process.
Yeah.
Like I would listen because just like today, there's a lot of facilitators though that give a lot of process, a lot of questions, a lot of things online. And I would look for them. And then at the end of the call, they were like, okay, practice all the tools we gave you today. And my mind would flip out. I was like, did I miss the tools? Like, what are they talking about? So it's literally the questions. That's the only tool we really, really need. It's just changing the way we see things, right?
Yeah. True. That's true. Yeah. I thought I had something, but now it went away. Perhaps it's coming back.
It'll catch us around.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know, like we're talking about the bars and doing the bars. Can somebody run the bars on themselves?
Can, yet the effects will be 1,000 better when somebody runs our bars.
Okay.
Because yeah, in general, our bodies love touch. So then that I guess the human connection also like amplify it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I noticed. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And
Yeah.
then there's a lot. Okay. So going back to the, creating the human experience and going
Yeah.
back to joys and actually celebrating life. What changes, if you can share with us some of them, what changes have you seen that you've gone through that you now say, okay, now I celebrate life. Before I would see it this way. Now, I don't know, it's different.
Yeah. The major thing is, of course, to be able to not go back to my childhood and then feel the anger, feel the resentment, sadness, maybe even like a humiliation.
Okay.
Yet when now I am able to look at my childhood and then say, yeah, okay, it's just event that came to my life, and having kind of like acceptance and understanding that okay, my parents did not know better, and truly like accept that. Previously, I may be able to say it, but there will be still kind of like the not so nice emotions coming up. But yet now it's like truly the ability to accept things happen for reason, and um, and with that, actually, with whatever happened and in the past, then it truly like make me who I am. Yeah. So the major thing is not to have the strong emotion, that charged emotion whenever I look back to my childhood.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's amazing because I mean, with a lot of different things, we all have a past, good or bad, happy, sad, whatever it is. But it's being able to, you've healed it and you've moved on when you're able to look back and not have that emotional charge or not have that feeling or not have like that anger pickup. It's just, you talk about it and it's done. Like you don't get back into that place. And I think, like going back to the Access Consciousness, I think I found it so easy.
Yeah.
That my mind was like, this isn't going to work. This is too easy. And yet I kept at it. And little by little, I could actually feel what they talk about, like the lightness.
Yes.
And it's like this thing like, oh, I feel better. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like literally lightness, I guess is the correct word. Because you kind of feel like, okay.
It is. It is. Yeah. So just like you, Angie, in the past, and like, I mean, I also tried other modality, looking for answers, looking for guidance. And yet in Access, I find that what if making choice is just making that choice and enjoy your choice. There is no good choice, bad choice. Yeah, just choice. Enjoy it. Yeah. So that's also that empowered me a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And talking about that, good and bad, that's also one of the things that I was like, wow, there's no right, there's no wrong. And I finally understood, not understood because I think my mind knew, but I think I finally felt the this is what it is feeling. Like, why do I need to judge it good? Why do I need to judge it bad? Just stay neutral has been a really huge thing for me.
Good. Yeah. How does it get any better than that? Yeah.
Right. Right. So one of the things I do want to ask, how do I say this? When people are very involved with the access consciousness, which I truly admire, you don't just live in the question. There are times that you talk, like just conversation wise, people just talk in the questions. Does any question work? Is there a formulated set, or is it literally you just asking whatever question?
Oh, that's that's a very good question. Let me just rephrase, not rephrase it, but I would like to clarify. I think what you are asking here is like, what type of questions, right? To actually expand our work. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. In my own observation, I believe that okay, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I not all type of questions, of course, because they like sometimes people will say like, how can I make this kind of mistakes? That actually a question, but it's also a judgment.
Right. Right.
Right. Yeah. So instead of saying that, then if we truly want to have the question to expand our life, then we can ask differently. Yeah. Just again, how does it get any better? How does it get better than this? Or what is right about this I'm not getting yet?
Okay.
So I come to the awareness that we know what we know, and then we can feel that if the question actually bring up some kind of like emotions that's not serving us, and that is not the right question, not the questions that will serve us to come to different possibility.
I think that's the key word. I think that's the key word because I think it's the possibilities.
Yes.
I think it's the which was another big aha for me. It's knowing, it's not just knowing you have a choice, but knowing that there are an infinite amount of possibilities. I think that expanded me into just thinking, how do I figure it out versus I get to choose a different possibility. But again, it took me a few months to understand that. It wasn't right away.
Yeah. It's kind of like a new muscles that, we need to build it up.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think I love, I mean, I think no, I know I love that. About the access consciousness, it really did show, or it reminded me, because everything we have is in our knowing. But it really did remind me of, if we look at it from a quantum, they always talk about it like so scientific. And again, with this, the tools and the questions and just all these things are so simple. Just literally knowing in your heart that there's so many infinite possibilities, that right there in itself just starts changing you because you start allowing, I guess, to see things differently, right?
Yes. Yeah. And the one tool that I truly believe that will open up that ability to even receive the understanding or the acceptance that there are possibilities, other possibilities, is first to have access bars.
Okay.
Yeah, because that really open up the space. Yeah, the space. Because okay, let me try to rephrase it. We are actually like receiving a lot of information, then like saying, encouraging us that accept your life, be mindful. So we have lots of positive encouragement, but I believe not everybody will be able to just
Right.
switch their mindset. Yeah. So with Access Bars, this actually open up that willingness or the ability to be open up to the new mindset. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people that haven't run the bars, I mean, I did the bars, and it, like you said, there are like a touch component on the head and like in certain parts. And I guess the way I describe it to people, it's like an energetic release, like just an energetic massage. Like there's nothing to be done. The facilitator isn't doing anything weird. They're not chanting. They're not doing anything weird. But there is a change. So I'm guessing that what it does, like you're mentioning, it does open up like maybe new circuits, kind of like on a computer. Like it flushes out like all these different programmings and just leaves the space for you to reprogram it. Would that be like a good way to say it?
Yes, that's a very nice way to say it.
Okay.
Yeah. What I also do whenever I run bars for clients, I will open up the space by asking them, saying that, okay, now you are asking to receive this session. If somehow there is anything that prevent you from receiving the session fully, are you willing to destroy and uncreate that?
Okay.
That makes the difference as well.
Right.
Yeah. So is it time to actually share like some of the interesting things that might happen during class? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So these questions, for example, say like maybe like 6 months ago, I didn't come up with that question in the beginning of the sessions, right? Yeah. So the client will lie down and then we just start. And I noticed that she just couldn't kind of like relax. And then I remember, what if I asked her this question for her to be aware that she herself might be preventing herself to receive? Yeah. And the moment I asked that, and then she said yes, I noticed that her eyelids closed and then she is like fully relaxed. Okay.
Right.
Awesome. How does it get any better than that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And again, many people talk about it in many different ways, but
Yeah.
it's the letting go. It's
Yes.
the body, you allowing the body to do what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
Now, this is my own belief. I don't know if Access talks about it or anybody else, but our minds stop us from doing a lot of things with the thinking, with the, let's call it the judgments, the beliefs,
Yes. Yeah.
just the heaviness of it. But I think, because I always tell my clients, like when you're peeling an onion layer, it's like it could be a layer after a layer after a layer. But
Yeah.
when we allow the body to do what it's meant to do, we sometimes don't need to even know what those layers are. They just
Yeah.
fall off. And that's what I found with Access. It's kind of like, I don't need to keep digging. I like to know my past lives because I think they're cool. I want to know what happened because I want to do. But with Access Consciousness, it's like, you don't even need to know. It just happens.
I loved your explanation. Yeah. Yeah. True. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I noticed in my journey with Access to truly like kind of celebrate my life is the acceptance again that like we are here, we choose to be here, and we thank our body. Yet there will also be time when our body will kind of like mm, I mean like then our soul, our spirits will go out of the body. And previously I also had the kind of like emotions point of view about that, about death, but now it's neutral. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's again another kind of like freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's another thing that come to my experience.
Right. And as you're
Yeah.
talking about that, I think more freedom also comes with precisely with that. Once we stop seeing things the way that we were seeing it, it does give us that, oh, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's not like we're all looking for death, but it's like, Okay, like there's nothing towards it or against it, or and just with even many things, because I know once I had my bars run and I did the whole bars class, it was kind of like I caught myself thinking of things that, yeah, I just saw them and felt them differently,
Yeah.
even though I was still kind of like on the same path. Like it didn't really change much from what I already believed, but I could feel it in my body, like that layer, like that layer just kind of went away, and it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
And so the last question is, there's obviously, you're in Malaysia,
Yeah.
but there's obviously many, many people. What would you recommend somebody to do if they've never tried it? Like, how would they approach a bars class? Like, what suggestion would you give them?
People can go to the Access Consciousness site and look up for the practitioners or facilitator in your town, in your city, because Access is actually practiced in, I think now it will be over 176 countries.
Wow.
So yeah, there you go.
Nice. Okay. And how do people get in touch with you? Because I know we're running a little bit on time. So how can people get in touch with you, learn more? Do you offer any classes? Do you offer any classes that are online?
Online, no,
No.
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet. But yeah, it's a physical class in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia at this moment. And you can find me in either my Facebook uh, as well as the Facebook page. And I think, Angie, if you have my email, that's also another way for you to
Okay.
get it with me. Yeah,
I will be sure to put, I'm making my note. I will be sure to put that in the description below so that they know that they could reach out to you.
yeah. And which part of the US you are?
Currently, I'm in
Yeah.
Houston.
Ah, right. Okay. There you go, Houston people. You can contact Angie.
Yeah. Or just wherever, because I'm laughing so the audience doesn't know, but I'll fill everybody in. Part of the reason I haven't been recording for a while is because I've been on the road playing gypsy. So I've actually
Wow.
been creating my life in
Yeah,
a suitcase, going all over the place. So yes, definitely.
right.
Yeah. Amelia, thank you so much for joining us today. I love all of this, and I love how you're open and willing to contribute from day one that we contacted each other.
Yeah,
And I appreciate this so, so much.
pleasure. It's really has been my honor to get in touch with you, to know you, to get connected with you, as well as for the audience. I hope that you gain something from it to change your reality. Thank you, Angie.
Definitely. Thank you. And everybody have a great time, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.